The CEO of Embark Studios, the studios behind Arc Raiders, has confirmed that aggressive-based matchmaking is a thing. They've also talked about potential TV shows or movies and what their thoughts are on that, the potential for a trading system amongst players, and some other cool little tidbits about the development of Arc Raiders. All of this comes from an interview with Patrick, hosted by Dean Takahashi from GamesBeat. He posted an entire 1 hour, 30-minute long video of him just running around in Arc Raiders with Patrick, talking about their experience with the game and developing the game. Now, whilst it's a really good watch, and I will put a link in the description for those that want to watch it, it is quite a long one, and some of the most interesting questions are weaved in between them just playing the game and hanging out in a way. So I've watched the whole thing through, and here are all the most important parts that I think you'll all be interested in. Firstly, let's start with the aggressive-based matchmaking and exactly what Patrick said about this.
Yeah, we matchmake, obviously, first it's skill-based, of course. Then you have solos, duos, and trios. And then we also, since a week ago or so, we also matchmake now based on how prone you are to PvP or PvE. So if your preference is to do PvE and have less conflict with players,
you get matched up with that.
You'll get more matched up. Obviously, it's not a full science. I mean, sometimes
that's nice. I mean, I did have someone ask me like, is there aggression-based matchmaking? And that sounds like that's it.
And that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
So we did that, and we always knew that we were going to get some, that the game is especially as the game has gotten big, that's a problem.
So yeah, confirmed from the CEO himself, there is aggression-based matchmaking in Arc Raiders, which means you can curate your own experience in the game. If you like shooting more players, if you like PvP, go and shoot people and you'll get into more PvP situations. If you prefer to explore the world, maybe do some looting, hunt for blueprints, you can just be friendly with players and avoid shooting them, and you'll more likely be matched up with other players who play the same way. Now, with every matchmaking system in online games, it's not like a on or off switch. There are many different factors that go into play. They even talked about it in this video. There is solos, duos, and trios. They matchmake based on squad size. We know that. There's also skill-based matchmaking involved as well. And for everybody that goes, oh no, skill-based matchmaking, that's been a thing in games since longer than you even realize. Back in the Xbox days, the original Xbox, skill-based matchmaking was what made Halo 2 a massively successful online game. It had skill-based matchmaking. Now, it gets more complicated when you start to add in engagement-optimized matchmaking and try and tweak that far too much. But so far, whatever matchmaking algorithm they have in Arc Raiders seems to be working wonders, because it's probably one of the only online games like this where people don't seem to be complaining about the matchmaker and just pretty happy with the results of the games that they're playing. So yeah, actually top-notch stuff, and I think this has played a massive role in the current success of Arc Raiders. Whatever wizardry they've done behind the scenes here has been working really well. Now, also, I know some people are going to be wondering, well, what can I do to get in a friendly lobby? What can I do to get in an aggressive lobby? Like, what are the specifics? Well, they're never going to reveal that, because the more that they reveal, the easier it becomes to game and take advantage of, which is never a good thing. You never want people forcing their way into lobbies that they perhaps shouldn't be and taking advantage of that. So they're never going to reveal the specifics. Just know that if you play the game naturally how you want to play the game, in terms of fighting other players, eventually the game is just going to learn and put you into the right lobbies. Now, from my personal experience, it does seem to be more tied or weighted at the moment, at least, towards your recent gameplay and not so much your overall career experience. For example, I'm a very friendly player. I don't shoot anybody unless they shoot me first, but I do some PvP sometimes. And when I get into PvP lobbies, I usually start with trios, just go and shoot everybody. When I go back to solos, it's an absolute chaos fest with everybody shooting on sight, and it stays that way for about 8, 9, maybe 10 matches. I have to just stop engaging in fights, and then I go back to friendly lobbies. So if you're stuck in PvP lobbies, just put down the gun. Go do some free loadouts and don't worry about dying, and you'll probably end up being in friendlier lobbies if that's what you're looking for. And if you're looking for a TV show about Arc Raiders, then it's not off the table. In fact, this is something that they touched on lightly in this interview, and it turns out the developers have received a lot of offers for TV shows and movies already. already. And the response from Patrick here was really quite interesting.
It's actually quite a deep lore, and that we will try to expand. The team has a pretty strong idea what they want to, what they want this to be, and how it's going to expand, and what's going to happen to it, and it's fun.
Do you think this is something you would add cinematics for, or you're more like embedding the lore in the environment?
Both. Okay. We will absolutely have cinematics for sure. We will absolutely do that. And there's been, talking about that, it's fun how many, I can't tell you how many companies have reached out to us wanting to make a TV series movie out of this IP.
Yep. Is that tempting already?
Yeah, I mean, we don't mind doing that. It will be fun, but it needs to be done in the right way. And I mean, I hope that we will do that. And that would be, I think the IP fits quite well with.
Did you already have?
You can take this. I'll take the supply drop. You guys can loot that. It's fun.
So they're obviously not developing a TV show or movie right now, but if the IP of Arc Raiders continues to be successful, then it could actually be on the table. I think it's a really awesome world that I'd love to see explored more, and I hope that also does mean more lore and world building in the game. It seems like the story of Arc Raiders is only just beginning. All right, this next part was super interesting to hear about and mostly missed online because it was later on in the video. They have thought about trading amongst other players and a marketplace system, and it's actually something they're quite interested in doing. So perhaps in the future, as more systems are being added and developed and put into the game, some kind of trading system could certainly be on the table here.
Did you guys ever think about having a lot more trading and marketplace things in the game?
We're going to want to do more of that because it's fun. It's a good part of the game, and I agree with you. We should do a lot more of the trading component of the game. Also allow people to trade amongst each other, etc. I think it's fun. Something that we absolutely have to look at long term. I mean, there's nothing that we've decided yet, but that's the fun part of building something like this. That this is really the start of something, and we believe that there's so many things that we believe that we want to, that we can look into and do and add to the game. It's fun.
What about how do you feel when people are asking for things that like are on the list, but it's going to be a while before you can get to it?
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, the list I think is constantly changing as we monitor how people play the game, what they like, what they don't like, what are they doing, what are they not doing. The list isn't static in that aspect. So we have to change it as we go.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I mean, that's for me, it's a fun part of building games today is the fact that you can build them that way.
Yeah.
And you can. Games are different today than they were before. That if you build them, if you build them online based and with pretty deep, robust systems in the back, then clearly you can build them out and have them live for a long time.
I think it's great to hear the perspective of Arc Raiders from the CEO and the development that they plan ahead. One of the greatest things about a good live service game is day one is actually the worst it can ever be, right? It's only up from here. And Arc Raiders launched in such a great state. So I'm really excited about what new content and features and gameplay systems will be added over time. One of the coolest things listening to Embark Studios CEO in this is just the way that they set up so many different systems and tools and pipelines that they can basically take advantage of that now to get out content faster and create more interesting, fun stuff for us. One of those systems is the use of generative AI. Some of the speech and voice lines in the game are AI generated, and that's caused a lot of criticism online. But we actually get to hear now from the CEO their stance on AI and what they think about it.
This is not your favorite topic right now, but how did you think about AI in general?
No, it's I'm completely fine talking about it. No, I mean, I think AI, there's been some conversation around, I think games in particular, but also Arc Raiders and Embark. I think I think people has a misconception about what it means. I mean, to us, we don't use artificial intelligence to not have to hire people or replace people or replace job groups or that's not the point. Or for that matter, the favorite topic of voice actors at all. We have several voice actors that we work with that are on contract. We work with them continuously. We will continue working with them. They're of course a central piece of this puzzle, but artificial intelligence, we will pay for their voices, and sometimes using an artificial voice gets us to update the game a lot faster, to make things, if we want a change to the game, we can submit it quickly. And so I think for us, it's artificial intelligence. I think if people need to take a step back and look at this and understand what it is and what it can do, and not be, and the fact that it could be a tremendous help to developers and hence a tremendous benefit to players. But obviously used in the wrong way, and I realized that there's absolutely it's an intricate subject and discussion, but at the same time, we feel that for us, it's never been about replacing people or it's been about making tedious, sometimes boring work parts disappear or be much faster. It's about putting people's time where it really makes sense, and to me, I really hope that that's not something that rubs people the wrong way. It shouldn't be.
Yeah. There's a lot of I think, a lot of angst in the industry now, and
Yeah, I think it's I understand why that is, and I think there's absolutely, there are many. If you look, I think angst in the world, I would say, look around us. Like, there's AI will have an impact on so many different types of areas of our society today, but I think we need to learn to maneuver that situation and maneuver the what it means, and then I think it doesn't need to be something that's all bad at all. And for us, we could not have built the games that we've built or serviced the games that we've done. The final, for example, has been updated every single week, once a week since the day we launched it. There's been substantial improvements to the game and updates to the game. By the way, the game is free. So you can go in and not spend a single dollar in the game. And we couldn't have done that without some help from artificial intelligence, but obviously most importantly through smart investment in tools and pipelines, technology, and incredible people. This is a people industry. Well, it's going to be a people industry. I don't envision games being done automatically by some artificial intelligence. That is not how I look at it.
There were a few other topics that were touched on briefly, but most of the rest of the video was just them playing the game and Patrick sort of explaining the different elements of the game as they played. There was a very quick question about private servers. I don't think that kind of thing is coming anytime soon if it is on the menu, but this is what was said.
What do you guys think of the private game servers people are asking for?
Yes, Owen, take this. I don't know exactly where we are on that, but it's absolutely something that we could consider.
Like I said, a very sort of nothing burger response from the CEO there, It's not a no, but it's not a yes. But I wanted to make sure that was shown in this video for anyone curious. They also had a bit of a mention about their thoughts on what Arc Raiders is and how it's definitely not meant to be a competitive game.
Did you ever think of a leaderboard where you could actually identify, how much of a player killer someone is? I don't know if like a reputational thing, right? It's like
we've obviously had discussions. We've had several discussions about nemesis systems and all types of things, and don't know where the team are on them right now. I think one of the beauties of this game is the fact that we don't have those leaderboards and it's not competitive. We don't want to necessarily foster that type of of gameplay. The game isn't about shooting other players. You can do that if you want to, but that's not kind of the ethos of the game. Has never been to go in and shoot players. We want that, to your point, you described it really well. It's a part that we use to craft tension and for you to feel like, I mean, the game was without other players for a long time. And yes, there were instances where the game was fun and there were areas where it worked quite well, but also the minute you added other players and then you use subtle ways of signaling, you know, you don't know how many players are on the server. You don't know how many players have died. You don't know how many players are around you. But we signal to you that there are other players, that you hear them shooting. That's why audio is a very important part of this game. You hear them encountering Ark and other players. You see the radar flares as they go down. You know, at one point it was funny. You remember this, Owen? I came back into a playtest and the radar flares were gone. I'm like, why did you remove those? And they're like, oh, well. So I just said, just bring them back. That they're such an iconic part of this game, and they also signal to other players that, you know, okay,
action is happening somewhere.
Action is happening somewhere.
Yeah,
it makes it feel populated in an important way, and you also. You know, you also know that there could be a downed raider somewhere. Should I go there? Should I take the risk and go there to see whether I can find something, or you know, have they been kind of brought back to life? Like there's a tension element in that's very important.
Yeah.
So
I think I like the similar to the raider flare. It's those birds, the flock of birds that you can scare into flying up.
Yeah.
And
or the car alarm,
the car alarms, or the door alarms, or the cameras. You know, there's a bunch of systems that have been put in the game just for those reasons, to make sure. Also, that's why you have, you know, you hear when people are breaching doors, you hear when people are breaching boxes. You know, it's not because we wanted to make that sound. It's because we firmly believe that those are a ways for you to know that something is going on.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
There were a few other conversations about the game as they played, including Patrick's own opinion on their decision to launch in between Call of Duty and Battlefield, and the conversations that went on to decide that. And overall, quite an interesting talk and a nice chance to get an insight into the minds behind Ark Raiders. It's clear that with the finals, MBUX Studios as a team has been able to learn a lot about creating a live service game. And whilst the dev team working on Ark Raiders is different to the finals, obviously as a studio, they're able to learn and grow from one another. And I really hope that Ark Raiders will continue to see new successes. Right now, the success of Ark Raiders has been phenomenal. And I do think that's in part to the way they give us the chance to play how we want to. And they're not trying to create a super strict, sweaty matchmaking system like a lot of online shooter games are. This is, at its forefront, a game designed for you to get immersed in. The PvP is there, but it doesn't have to be all that there is in this game. And I think that, alongside all of the other game systems and the immersive world, has helped Ark Raiders be what it is today. If you want to watch the full interview, it's on screen right now. Credit to GameSpeed for this one. And let me know what you think about this whole interview. I'll see you in the comments. Cheerio.